everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of My Sister's TBR, where we discuss our past, current, and future reads. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Stacey. This episode, we're discussing our most anticipated releases of March and dipping our toes into what we're currently reading.
And we have some exciting bookish news to share with you, so get ready to add some fantastic books to your TBR pile.
So whether you're commuting, working out, or just relaxing at home, we're thrilled to have you with us.
So get ready for a dose of bookish goodness on My Sister's TBR. Da-da!
Da-da! So, we have a ton of highly anticipated releases of this month. I know I pretty much picked them all this month, but
You always do, though.
that's okay, that's true. But I tried to pick some this month that I really think that you're going to enjoy.
I'm excited. I literally don't even know. I haven't even peeked a look into this at all yet.
I know.
I'm excited.
I guess I'll just get right into it. So first, we have How to Solve Your Own Murder by Kristen Perrin. This is the first book in the Castle Knoll files. So this is a mystery thriller. It's 368 pages, and it's expected to be published on March 26th.
I love the cover.
Yeah, the cover is very appealing. I like that blue and the yellow. I think it's very eye-catching.
Visually appealing.
Yes. So apparently this is good for fans of Knives Out and the Thursday Murder Club. And I really enjoyed Knives Out, so I'm excited. It's 1965, and teenage Frances Adams is at an English country fair with her two best friends, but Frances's night takes a hairpin turn when a fortune teller makes a bone-chilling prediction. One day, Frances will be murdered. Frances spends a lifetime trying to solve a crime that hasn't happened yet, compiling dirt on every person who crosses her path in an effort to prevent her own demise. For decades, no one takes Frances seriously, until nearly 60 years later when Frances is found murdered like she always said she would be. In the present day, Annie Adams has been summoned to a meeting at the sprawling country estate of her wealthy and reclusive great-aunt Frances. But by the time Annie arrives in the quaint English village of Castle Knoll, Frances is already dead. Annie is determined to catch the killer, but thanks to Frances's lifelong habit of digging up secrets and lies, it seems every endearing and eccentric villager might just have a motive for her murder. Can Annie safely unravel the dark mystery at the heart of Castle Knoll, or will dredging up the past throw her into the path of a killer? As Annie gets closer to the truth and closer to the danger, she starts to fear she might inherit her aunt's fate instead of her fortune. That's exciting.
I can see that being really good, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm all over that, I think.
Castle Knoll. Why does that sound familiar to me?
I don't know. Castle Knoll. Sounds like something that would have been in a Nancy Drew game.
I miss watching. I remember watching you play those.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I'd love to go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to do a live stream some night. Not the same, but
yeah, still. Okay. Oh, I love the look of this cover too. So the next one is The Bride of Death by F.M. Adden. This is a fantasy romance mythology.
ooh.
Beautiful. 378 pages, and this just came out on March 1st. As a young child, Zarin grew up on tales of the Lord of Death, Erlich Khan, and his penchant for stealing wild girls. In her small village, she keeps to herself and tends to the temple gardens, spending her days with her best friend, Kellic. But when Kellic begins to act strangely and removes himself to live on a crumbling estate atop Mount Ida, the rumors of him becoming possessed by a demon begin to swiftly arise. Each month that passes, the demon within him grows stronger, his demands of the villagers growing oddly disjointed and nonsensical. Her chances of saving him become all but impossible once Zarin learns that it is no lesser demon that has a hold of him, but Erlich Khan, a demon of untold power who lords over the dead. It isn't long before word spreads that he is in search of a bride, and creatures of untold power come before him to rule by his side. Zarin knows that she cannot take down Erlich without power, and she cannot gain power without becoming his bride. But becoming Erlich's wife is nothing as simple as an offer for his hand. To become the queen of the underworld, she must complete 3 impossible tasks, or risk losing everything she holds dear.
Ooh. That
Okay.
sort of gives me the Coven vibes. Kind of.
You know what? Yeah. Yep, I can see that.
Yeah.
I like it. I
Yep.
like it.
The names are a little difficult, but I mean, what's a fantasy without hard to pronounce names?
True that.
The cover of this one, I feel like it just screams our podcast. Like the color
Yeah.
scheme and just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just looks like it's a book for our podcast. So the next one is Song of the Huntress by Lucy Holland. This is a fantasy historical and it's LGBT. So
Oh.
that's fun. That's really fun. It's 448 pages and it's expected on March 19th. Oh, okay. I think I'm going to read that. So, the acclaimed author of Sister Song transforms the story of Herla and the Wild Hunt into a rich feminist fantasy in this stunning tale of 2 great warriors, a war-torn land, and an ancient magic that is slowly awakening.
Hmm.
Britain, 60 AD, hoping to save her lover, her land, and her people from the Romans, Herla makes a desperate pact with the king of the other world. But years pass unheeded in his realm, and she escapes to find everyone she loved long dead. Cursed to wield his blade, she becomes Lord of the Hunt, and for centuries she rides, leading her immortal warriors and reaping wanderers' souls, until the night she meets a woman on a bloody battlefield, a Saxon queen with ice blue eyes. Queen Ethelberg? Ethelberg? Okay, we'll just go with Ethelberg of Wessex is a proven fighter, but when she leads her forces to disaster in battle, her husband's court turns against her. Yet King Ein needs Ethel more than ever. Something dark and dangerous is at work in the Wessex court. His own brother seeks to usurp him, and their only hope is the magic of Ein's bloodline that's lain dormant since ancient days. The moment she and Aethel meet, Herla knows it's no coincidence. The dead kings are waking, the other world seeks to rise to bring the people of Britain under its dominion, and as Herla and Aethel grow closer, Herla must find her humanity and a way to break the curse before it's too late. I haven't read many sapphic romance, but I feel like that is going to be a really good one, especially since it's focusing more on fantasy. So that's fun. It is listed as adult. So I have a feeling she's going to get dark.
I like how it's like a retelling too.
Mhm.
So the next one is called Baby X by Kira Peikoff. And this is a science fiction thriller. Beautiful. 336 pages, and this just came out on March 5th. When any biological matter can be used to create life, stolen celebrity DNA sells to the highest bidder, or the craziest stalker in this propulsive thriller. In the near future United States, where advanced technology can create egg or sperm from any person's cells, celebrities face the alarming potential of meeting biological children they never conceived. Famous singer Trace Thorn is tired of being targeted by the Vault, a black market site devoted to stealing DNA. Sick of paying ransom money for his own cell matter, he hires biosecurity guard Ember Ryan to ensure his biological safety. Ember will do anything she can to protect her clients. She knows all the Vault's tricks, discarded tissues, used straws, lipstick tubes, and has prevented countless DNA thefts. Working for Thorne, her focus becomes split when she begins to fall for him, but she knows she hasn't let anything slip. Love or not, his DNA is safe. But then she and Thorne are confronted by a pregnant woman, Quinn, who claims that Thorne is the father of her baby, and all bets are off. Brilliantly plotted and terrifyingly prescient, Baby X is an unpredictable and relentless speculative thriller perfect for fans of Blake Crouch. I don't know what Blake Crouch is, but that actually sounds really good.
Crouch wrote I don't know if you've read or seen the show for Wayward Pines.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Dark Matter.
Uh, why does that sound familiar?
It's like a red and black cover. Dark Matter written in big gray letters.
Hmm.
No. Okay. Really good author.
Either way, that's
Yeah.
like,
That is something that almost feels eerily possible.
100%. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts.
Give it time. Give it time.
So when I was reading that, like when I found the book and was putting it in our anticipated releases, it just gave me almost cold shivers. Like just, oh my God, can you imagine if that is what the world is going towards?
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I've just been like loving the mystery thrillers lately,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll leave this next one for you because I think that, I don't know, maybe.
Finally.
What?
Yes, another Lynn Painter.
Okay. Okay, I'll pop down to Expiration Dates by Rebecca Searle. This
Hmm.
is a romance magical realism. It's
Oh.
272 pages and it's expected on March 19th. I like that it's under 300 pages because I really need the shorter reads.
I like the cover.
Yeah.
This is very eye-catching for me.
She's the one who wrote In 5 Years, I think it's called.
Yep, that's
Let
what
me
it says here
just
on the cover. In 5 years, what is...
Yeah, that's the one that I listened to the audiobook at one point, I think it was over the summer maybe, when I was driving back from picking up Maddie at her dad's, or after dropping her off at her dad's, I think, and I was on my way back in, and I was just
Right.
sobbing. Yeah.
Yep.
It was,
Talk.
and it wasn't your normal like romance. It was just different, and it was so good. So
Mm.
I have really high hopes for this one.
Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yep.
Being single is like playing the lottery. There's always the chance that with one piece of paper you could win it all. From the New York Times bestselling author of In 5 Years and One Italian Summer comes a romance that will define a generation. Daphne Bell believes the universe has a plan for her. Every time she meets a new man, she receives a slip of paper with his name and a number on it, the exact amount of time they will be together. The papers told her she'd spend 3 days with Martin in Paris, 5 weeks with Noah in San Francisco, and 3 months with Hugo, her ex-boyfriend turned best friend. Daphne has been receiving the numbered papers for over 20 years, always wondering when there might be one without an expiration. Finally, the night of a blind date at her favorite Los Angeles restaurant, there's only a Jake. But as Jake and Daphne's story unfolds, Daphne finds herself doubting the paper's prediction and wrestling with what it means to be both committed and truthful, because Daphne knows things Jake doesn't, information that, if he found out, would break his heart. Told with signature warmth and insight into matters of the heart, Rebecca Searle has finally set her sights on romantic love. The result is a gripping, emotional, passionate, and yes, heartbreaking novel about what it means to be single, what it means to find love, and ultimately how we define each of them for ourselves. Expiration Date is the one fans have been waiting for.
I'm gonna read this right now.
Can already feel like my heart aching. The 19th.
I want to read this right now.
Yeah, it sounds so good. I actually started listening to the audiobook for One Italian Summer, and it
Mhm.
is narrated by Lauren Graham.
Mm.
And I mean, she puts so much expression in like everything she does, right? So it just
Ah,
phenomenal.
oh my god.
But yeah, expiration dates sounds like such an interesting concept, and I am so here for it.
I feel like this like speaks to me right now.
Hmm. Maybe we might have found our April? Maybe?
Sign me the frig up right now. After my March of no romance,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll be ready for this. Okay, so up next is Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. Beautiful. This is a contemporary romance. 304 pages, and this just came out on March 12th. Their name, the Objectors. Their job, to break off weddings as hired. Their dilemma, they might just be in love with each other. Oh dear. When Sophie Steinbeck finds out just before her nuptials that her fiance has cheated yet again, she desperately wants to call it off. But because her future father in law is her dad's cutthroat boss, she doesn't want to be the one to do it. Her savior comes in the form of a professional objector whose purpose is to show up at weddings and proclaim the words no couple usually wants to hear at their ceremony: I object. During anti-wedding festivities that night, Sophie learns more about Max the Objector's job. It makes perfect sense to her. He saves people from wasting their lives, from hurting each other. He's a modern-day hero, and Sophie wants in. The two love cynics start working together, going from wedding to wedding, and Sophie's having more fun than she's had in ages. She looks forward to every nerve-wracking ceremony, saving the lovesick souls of the betrothed masses. As Sophie and Max spend more time together, however, they realize that their physical chemistry is off the charts, leading them to dabble in a little hookup session or two. But it's totally fine because they definitely do not have feelings for each other. Love doesn't exist after all. And then everything changes. A groom-to-be hires Sophie to object, but his fiancée is the woman who broke Max's heart. As Max wrestles with whether he can be a party to his ex's getting hurt, Sophie grapples with the sudden realization that she may have fallen hard for her partner in crime.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's gonna be pretty good. And I like the whole like hooking up, but totally don't have feelings for each other. Like
Yeah.
I like that trope is just it's so good when it's done good.
Like, love doesn't exist. No way. And I love the way she writes though. So like that's definitely gonna be such a good book.
Is Lynn Painter mainly YA?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause this one is adult, so that's fun.
Curious.
Mm-hmm. So the next one is Avalon Tower by C.N. Crawford and Alex Rivers. I'm not sure if this is like a short story or not. It's coming out on the 22nd, and I couldn't find how many pages it is. It's just blank.
Interesting. Who is C.N. Crawford? Why do I know that?
So I read a bunch of her books back a while ago. She's one of the authors that I told you was good for like kind of like entry level fantasy. Like it's definitely fantasy, but it's more so kind of set in a more modern sort of way. Um City of Thorns is mainly the one that I talked about.
Yeah, I mean, where I've heard the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, give it to us.
Okay. I don't know if I said it, but it's another fantasy romance. All about the
And I see
romantasy.
paranormal.
Yes. And
Beautiful.
fae.
Delicious. Delicious.
Okay. Avalon Spy Academy rules. Spy on the Fae, resist falling for your mentor, and try not to die in the process. I spent 5 years saving up for the European vacation, but instead of drinking champagne on the beach, I get swept into a war of espionage between the humans and the Fae. It turns out I have a magic power needed to fight an evil Fae king. I'm quickly whisked off to an elite spy academy in a hidden realm. There, in the ancient and gothic halls of Avalon Tower, snobbery and brutal competitions are amongst the oldest traditions. As if I didn't have enough trouble, my new mentor is Raphael Lancelot, a maddeningly, no, that's a difficult word to say, maddeningly sexy demi-fae who already ruined my life once. Now I have to push his distracting allure out of my mind to focus on our mission. We're going into the Fae realm together. If we get captured, we'll die horrific deaths, and humanity won't stand a chance. That sounds like it's gonna be like kind of comical.
Right up our alley.
Yes. Yes.
As soon as you said spy on the Fae, resist falling for your mentor,
So the first sentence.
I was I was in.
Yeah.
You had me.
C.N. Crawford has a really She's really good at writing badass human females.
Beautiful.
I have high hopes for this one as well.
The last one is called Bye Baby by Carola Lovering. This is a mystery thriller, 352 pages, and it just came out on March 5th. Oh, best-selling author of Tell Me Lies. Seen that
Mhm.
quite a few times, actually. A missing baby, a fraught friendship, a secret that can never be told. On a brisk fall night in a New York apartment, 35-year-old Billy West hears terrified screams. It's her lifelong best friend, Cassie Barnwell, one floor above, and she's just realized her infant daughter has gone missing. Billy is shaken as she looks down into her own arms to see the baby, remembering with a jolt of fear that she is responsible for the kidnapping that has instantly shattered Cassie's world. Jeez.
Holy shit.
So begins the story of Billy and Cassie's friendship, both in recent weeks and since they met 23 years ago in their small Hudson Valley hometown the summer before 7th grade. Once fiercely bonded by their secrets, including a traumatic, unspeakable incident in high school, Cassie and Billy have drifted apart in adulthood, no longer the inseparable pair they used to be. Cassie is married to a wealthy man, has recently become a mother, and is building a following as a fashion and lifestyle influencer. She is desperate to leave her past behind, including Billy, who is single and childless and no longer fits into her world. Hurt and rejected by Cassie's new priorities, Billy will do anything to restore their friendship, even as she hides the truth about what really happened the night the baby was taken. Okay, I was just gonna wonder this. Told in alternating perspectives in Lovering's signature suspenseful style, Bye Baby confronts the myriad ways friendships change and evolve over time, the lingering echoes of childhood trauma, and the impact of women's choices on their lifelong relationships.
Holy shit.
Jesus. So, I have a feeling that's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
Um, but I have a feeling that that's gonna go. I feel like that's dual perspective, obviously, like she just said, but also maybe timeline perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, alternating between like present and
Yeah.
past. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like goosebumps.
Okay, bye, baby. Jeez.
Yep. So I know that we've talked about it previous episodes about the Twilight reboot, and I mean I've been really excited about it. Everybody thought it was going to be another live action, whether it was TV show or movie, but it's been announced, and I believe it was Lionsgate that actually
Yeah.
said it, that it's going to be animated. And like I think I'm okay with it.
I feel like it all depends on like the style of animation.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be like kitty, like it's and I don't think it's going to be like a comical take like Rick and Morty, like I think it's going to be done in a mature art style. I'm picturing like the Dragon Prince. It's a much cleaner. Are you looking it up? Yeah, it's like a really clean animation, almost more of like a mature look to it. Now, the Dragon Prince isn't a good example for that because Dragon Prince is more of a kid's.
Picture it.
Oh, I can so well. I'm more so just excited that they're doing something different because I
Yeah,
feel
fair.
like just reboots happen all the time and it's just the same, like it's just different actors. At least now, this is a whole different media and they can do so much more. It can be more accurate to the books.
True.
I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I'm excited.
I really need to read it.
You will.
Yeah, I
Because
will.
it's gonna be my book that I'm passing around to annotate, so you will read it. I'm forcing you.
I can't wait. So one really exciting news that we've got for this month is our featured read is What Lies Within Masks and Shadows by Nicole May. We are going to be interviewing her. Very excited to be able to do this.
hmm And stoked that she's actually humoring us with doing this.
Yes. Thank you. This has been on our bucket list.
Yes, it has. To actually get our shit together and interview an author.
Yep. Here we are.
The future is now.
We'll have that posted at the end of the month before our end of month episode. Very exciting. Very
Yes.
exciting.
Speaking of very exciting,
Oh.
so this is probably like the biggest news in the bookish world, going around the last like week or so. Brandon Sanderson, king of fantasy, dropped another huge secret project on us. He wrote an entire novel in secret and just like plopped it down on a video and just like, oh hey, here,
The
I wrote
world.
this. Yeah, it was actually, I think it was a video of him like announcing something to do with a Kickstarter. Um and at the end of it, he just stopped and like he was just sat there in the video and he just stopped. And you think the video ends, but he just drops this manuscript on the desk and then just like walks away. Like this big
Mic
just
drop.
yeah. Yeah. And so that's huge. The only things that we know so far about it is that it is part of the Cosmere, which is Sanderson's like interconnected universe of fantasy worlds. It's like Mistborn and the Stormlight Archive take place in this world. It is taking place in a future era of the Cosmere, and it will have high Cosmere connectivity. So you'll expect like a lot of Easter eggs from prior books and to like other Cosmere works. So that's like really, really exciting for fans of Brandon Sanderson that we're getting another one.
Another one.
Another one.
I've never read anything of his.
Very, very good fantasy books. Very little like romance in it, so it is like fantasy, but
Mm,
phenomenal. Now he does still have like some romance within it, but it's a like subplot. It's not the driving factor. But
gotcha.
he is a wizard with words. It's incredible what he can do. He was actually he was contacted to be the ghostwriter for Robert Jordan, the Wheel of Time books. I don't know if you're any bit familiar with that.
Mm,
He passed away, I think, in 2007, and they actually contacted Brandon Sanderson to be like his ghostwriter to continue the series, which is huge, huge because Wheel of Time is
um,
just a massive, yeah. And he wrote a book in amongst doing that. Like, that's nuts. The man is a machine for writing books. And now he has this other secret novel that's coming out in the Cosmere. Anyways, I'll stop gushing about Brandon Sanderson now. Another fun, interesting news about Emily McIntyre. She finally gave us some little crumbs about book number 6 of the Never After series. So these are like her dark fairy tale retelling romance books. Um,
mm.
yes, very dark. And so she has book 6 up on Goodreads currently, and she has it listed as her currently reading. And she's like sort of giving us little bits of news about it through that. The title hasn't been announced yet. There's no real information on it, but members in her Facebook group, which is aptly called, I think, Mackin Cult, I think is what she has it named.
Love it.
Yeah, me too. So there's like some discussions on what people think this book is going to be about, and it seems to be a toss up between The Little Mermaid or Hercules. And I think that's really fun.
I think The Little Mermaid would be very interesting.
Yeah, I think Little Mermaid would be really interesting. She did say that this is the last book in the series. So,
Damn. I need to read those. I was gonna start reading Hooked, um, but that was right after finishing The Never King.
yeah. Yeah, I don't advise because I did those two like right like one after the other, and I feel like it wasn't fair. You know, like it was so hard to judge both of them accordingly because they're both Peter
Yeah.
Pan.
Yeah.
But yeah, like me and her books are like very dark.
Mm, delicious.
Yeah. Basically, they're about like the villains, basically.
And we love that.
Yeah, so she has it listed as a series of fractured fairy tales inspired by our favorite villains. She's not saying that they're like retellings, just that they're
Yeah.
fractured fairy tales. That's an
Interesting.
interesting way to put it. Okay. So, we would be very interested to hear what you think book number 6 is going to be. My vote is on The
This
Little
is.
Mermaid.
Yep,
Although
same.
Hercules would be pretty cool, but
True.
I feel like The Little Mermaid never gets any sort of like dark romance. You know, like you have all sorts of different novels that are basically base
Loosely based.
loosely it's so late and I'm so tired. Loosely based on fairy tales like Beauty and the Beast or Peter
Hmm.
Pan, etc. But The Little Mermaid never gets any of that. So
Maybe this is her time.
maybe. Um, and I guess really the only other thing that I have that's really newsworthy is more so directed to our central Newfoundland listeners. So Exploits Valley Community Market is hosting another book swap. It's going to be on March 21st, and this one is going to be hosted at the 50 Plus Club on Edward Place, and it's from 6 to 9 p.m. It's operated on a leave a book, take a book system, and chances are I'm going to be stalking around waiting for books to add to my library. So if you see me like hunched over tables, just mind your own business. Carry on. There's also going to be like a handful of vendors set up, and Kinden's Bakery and Cafe is going to be there, and I'm so excited for that because I didn't get a chance to go out and get any of it last summer. So they're going to be here, like they come in from Lewisport. Um, so yeah, I'm just going to be stuffing my face. Again,
With
don't mind
nipples.
me. Carry
Oh,
on with your
I wish
day.
I was I wish I was home.
I know. It would be so fun to go together.
Yeah.
You left before the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go by myself. Oh, but
Next
yeah,
time, hopefully.
hope so. We need to eventually set up a table at a
Oh
market.
yeah. The next time that they announce it with enough warning,
Mm-hmm.
we will be having a table. And I will make a special trip home. I don't
Yes.
care. Man.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, so that was really all I could find for news lately that's still relevant.
It's a good month
Yeah,
for
yeah,
all
I
of
think
that.
so. Yep, there was more that like I kind of wanted to talk about, but it's too far into the month now. Like if we were doing this on like a weekly basis, then yeah, we probably could touch on more things, but like I would have liked to talk about everything that's happening in the fan fiction world, but that was more so like 2 weeks ago.
Mm,
This, you know, like
old news.
everybody has heard it, yeah, and they know about it. So I feel like I'd just be yapping away and I don't know. But I guess now is a good time as any to ask, what are you currently reading, Rebecca?
So, oh, I have been on a Frida McFadden binge.
Oh, how many have you read by her now, like this month?
In the last 4 weeks, I'm on to my fifth one now.
Holy
Nope, I'm
crap.
on my sixth.
Oh, I need to catch up.
Who am I?
You just needed a break from the romance and you had to dive into some thrillers.
Okay. So, I am currently reading The Teacher by Frida McFadden. This is a mystery thriller. It's 400 pages, and it just came out last month, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Lesson number 1: Trust no one. Eve has a good life. She wakes up each day, kisses her husband Nate, and heads off to teach math at the local high school. All is as it should be, except last year, Kasem High was rocked by a scandal involving a student-teacher affair with one student, Addie, at its center. But Eve knows there is far more to these ugly rumors than meets the eye. Addie can't be trusted. She lies, she hurts people, she destroys lives. At least that's what everyone says. But nobody knows the real Addie. Nobody knows the secrets that could destroy her, and Addie will do anything to keep it quiet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good so far. I remember you saying before when you were talking about Frida McFadden and how you can try and guess what her plot twist is going to be,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to be something completely different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And each time I'm like being like, okay, I'm going to guess the plot twist this time. Like, yeah. Like, okay, this is like what I think it's going to go, but I'm just going to go the complete like different direction and I'm going to guess this plot twist and I
Yeah.
haven't been able to yet. Um so I'm just like
It has an incredible brain.
oh my god, like how? Oh, but I keep trying and I haven't been able to, but it's making like I think that's why I'm going through so many cuz I'm like
Yeah.
okay, on to the next one. You know, try this all over again.
It's like it's like gambling.
Yep.
Next time
Yep.
I'm going to win.
Yep. Yes.
That's amazing.
Oh, but yeah, no, this one's good so far. Talks about like the husband Nate is like really attractive and like obviously there's like something's gonna friggin' go down. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
There has
coming. It's coming. I'm not there yet, but it's coming. Loving it so far. What are you currently reading?
So I started listening to Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. So she wrote The Hating Game. I haven't read that book, but I watched the movie.
Yes.
So yeah, I thought for sure like this is going to be a good one to read. It's another contemporary romance, 343 pages, so it was, it's going to be a quick read.
Mm-hmm.
The description. I'll read that first before I get into my thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
Ruthie has worked the front desk at the Providence Luxury Retirement Villa for 6 years, dedicating her entire adult life to caring for the villa's residents, maintaining the property with an assist from DIY YouTube tutorials, and guarding the endangered tortoises that live in the villa's gardens. Somewhere along the way, she's forgotten that she's young and beautiful and that there's a world outside of work, until she meets the son of the property developer who just acquired the retirement center. Teddy Prescott has spent the last few years partying, sleeping in late, tattooing himself when bored, and generally not taking life too seriously. Something his father, who dreams of grooming Teddy into his successor, can't understand. When Teddy needs a place to crash, his father seizes the chance to get him to grow up. He'll let Teddy stay in one of the on-site cottages at the retirement home, but only if he works to earn his keep. Teddy agrees. He can change a few light bulbs and clip some hedges, no sweat. But Ruthie has plans for Teddy too. Her two wealthiest and most eccentric residents have just placed an ad, yet another, seeking a new personal assistant to torment. The women are 90-year-old, 4-foot-tall menaces, and not one of their assistants has lasted a full week. Offering up Teddy seems like a surefire way to get rid of the tall, handsome, unnerving man who won't stop getting under her skin. Ruthie doesn't count on the fact that in Teddy Prescott, the biddies may have finally met their match. He'll pick up Chanel gowns from the dry cleaner and cut Big Macs into bite-sized bits. He'll do repairs around the property, make the residents laugh, and charm the entire villa. He might even remind Ruthie what it's like to be young and fun again. But when she finds out Teddy's father's only fixing up the retirement home to sell it, putting everything she cares about in jeopardy, she's left wondering if Teddy's magic was all just a facade. It's pretty funny. Like,
That reminds me of like a Hallmark movie.
yeah, kind of. It's funny,
Mm.
but it's not like grasping me yet, and I'm really put off by Teddy. Maybe it's the age thing. Maybe
Yeah.
because I'm 30 plus years old. The whole younger 20 something, just, I don't know.
Just not you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But right now I'm like almost halfway through and it's not doing it for me quite yet.
Oh
Not
dear.
bad enough that like I would DNF it or anything because it does feel like it's getting there. It's just again, it's the whole age thing, I think. I'm I don't know. I want to read about silver foxes, I guess. Give me Teddy's
Daddies.
dad.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so that's pretty well all I'm doing now besides the featured read. Like I'm like eyeballs deep in the featured read. It's it was slow starting, but it is picking up for me, which is great. But I think I'm just like it's fantasy. I always have a hard time getting into fantasy. I
Yep.
love fantasy, but once it kicks in, like then that's when I'm like okay, let's go. And it has definitely gotten to that point now with our featured read, which I will let you introduce because I just talked a bunch. Take it away, Ernie.
Gonna be a bumpy ride. Okay. God. Okay, let me see. Okay, so our featured read is What Lies Within Masks and Shadows by Nicole May. Fantasy romance, and it's 735 pages. I haven't read a big book in a very long time.
hmm Apparently, I think I've seen or heard that like the paperback is only like 500 and something pages. So it's not as big and daunting as I thought going into it.
A little bit better. So, Throne of Glass meets The Witcher and Once Upon a Time in this heart wrenching high fantasy romance packed with trauma healing, epic magic, and high stakes rebellion. Alora, a marked one, is bound to a fate of suffering. Therefore, when Lord Cain takes her as his High Lady, life under his status and within his manor should have offered her everything, including safety. Except, in the darkness, Alora is a dying star, an explosion contained by his will and cruelty. Waiting for the day she'll blaze a light so intense it would burn at the edges of shadow itself, she endures her destined torment. But outside his walls, evil terrorizes Elysian, and as the savage prince sets his attention on Alora next, the lines between monster and savior blur. Her desire for freedom becomes tainted, and a new price must be paid. With rumors of his cruelty, ruthlessness, and unrelenting power, Alora's trust is not easily earned. She can't help feeling like she's exchanged one monster for another, a lord for a prince, a betrothed for a shadow beast. Can Alora ever truly be free under those who have bound themselves to her, or will her only escape sit masked in shadow?
Dun dun dun.
Wow.
Mhm.
I'm not super far into it yet. I've been way too in deep with the mystery thrillers,
Mhm.
and I can't freaking get out. But um, I'm a couple of chapters into the featured read now, and like I'm slowly getting my love for romance fantasy back.
Yeah, I think chapter 19, I think.
Okay, damn.
Yeah, like I said, like after that initial like it felt like it was kind of um dragging a little at the beginning, but I also understand that like every fantasy novel's like that, like with the world building and like the characters that are being
Mhm.
introduced. Like I do drag my feet a little at the beginning of every single fantasy. But now like I am invested into the characters, so I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I can't wait to get further into it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put a pause on my Frida McFadden.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really interested in how the romance is going to kick in.
Mm, can't wait. I haven't read any bit of romance in a very long time, so I'm like
Yeah.
I'm itching for it. But at least we'll have more to talk about on our end of month episode when we recap all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And also with our interview with her at the end of the month. Oh my God.
And that's
It's gonna
going
be
to be
exciting.
spoiler free. Like, I'm making sure our questions are spoiler free.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah. So if you don't read it and you maybe want a little more enticement to read it, you can tune into the interview and get some ideas on
That's a good
it.
idea.
And especially, I do ask her some questions about like her writing style, just different questions about just her writing in general. So it's not all just the book; it's her as an author.
Mhm.
So I think that's going to be fun to dig into. And of course, the best way to keep up with all of our episodes is to follow us on Instagram at My Sisters TBR. We will post there when episodes go live as a reminder. And also on our website, you can subscribe totally free, www.mysisterstbr.com. You'll be emailed when there's a new episode.
Nice and easy. Yeah. And don't forget to rate and subscribe. We're on Apple Podcast, Spotify,
Amazon.
Amazon. Just helps us feel
Loved.
like we're being listened to. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in
Again.
again.
See you in 2 weeks.
Toodles.
Bye.